What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss this Saturday's main event in the UFC, but before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly to help the channel grow. Alright guys, getting right into it, we got Jairzinho Rozenstruik taking on Shamil Gaziev in the heavyweight division this Saturday's main event in a fight where it's either going to end, I think, in the first 3 minutes, or it's going to be a 25-minute boring clinch grappling fight where both these guys get gassed out by the second round. I'm hoping that's not the case, but Rozenstruik, who has had nothing but inconsistency since he's reached the top of the heavyweight division within the UFC, right? He burst onto the scene, that huge victory over Alistair Overeem in the closing seconds of their 5-round fight. But since then, after his loss to Ngannou, Volkov, and most recently Almeida, you see that when he fights anybody who can match his kickboxing, match his distance control, anybody who has any sort of top-tier grappling, Curtis Blades, Almeida, right? He struggled. But when he fights anybody who's just a little bit below him in the striking department and is not able to get him down, he puts these dudes the fuck out. He showed it against Sakai, and most recently, well, I wouldn't say most recently, but his most recent win against Chris Daukaus, right? And I think his recipe for success is kind of what he does so good, and that's his counter-striking. He has this phenomenal jab that he just sticks out there, that's just punishing, stinging jab, and a lead hook that he's really good at fighting off of his back foot, going backwards. He's very good at catching these guys coming in, especially the ones who just overreach, leave themselves open. You can see Rozenstruik definitely can capitalize off of those openings. You saw that against Chris Daukaus. You saw that against Sakai. You saw that against Andrei Arlovsky, right? And I think against Shamil, he's been this punishing force on the regional scene. And he had the victory over Martin Buday, right, recently in the UFC. But I think with a lot of those flurries that he was able to throw, that he puts a lot of those guys out in the regional scene, you're not really going to see that so much in the upper echelon of the heavyweight division in the UFC. He leaves a lot of openings, loads up a lot, right? So, I mean, with Rozenstruik, because he fights so good going off of his back foot, fighting against a guy who likes to pressure and likes to throw flurries. And a lot, what I saw with Shamil, he loads up a lot with his right, and he also leads with his right. Doesn't throw anything to kind of shadow what's coming in, right? To disguise what's coming in. He really just kind of like lunges forward. He loads up a lot, which just leaves all of this. And here you don't really see him leaving this up as well. He's not doing really anything with his left. You just see him kind of like, ugh. Which I see Rozenstruik just catching him with the lead left hook, moving backwards, or a lead jab, or maybe even a right straight. I just see him catching him coming in. Because Shamil, his defense isn't there. You see him lunging, you see him reaching. He's a lot of power. He throws everything into his shots. I mean, his best bet, if he can somehow avoid Rozenstruik coming in, is to get a single leg and go down. I mean, Shamil definitely has some submissions on his resume. He's got a few rear naked chokes. I could definitely see that happening for him as well. But, I mean, in this fight, I think that this is going to be a showcase for Rozenstruik trying to get himself back into that win column. The first real true test for the undefeated Shamil, but I just think at this level, what he has to offer, these guys have already seen, and I think that they are prepared for. So nonetheless, I think that Rozenstruik is probably going to get a knockout probably within the first 3 minutes, maybe even earlier than that. If not, I can see Shamil grinding out a long, hard-fought decision, 5 rounds, 25 minutes. If he can get a single leg, if he can get Rozenstruik a little tired, we could definitely see Shamil catching a single leg, catching a double leg, getting it to the fence, getting a takedown on the clinch against the fence. I can definitely see that happening, where he could definitely turn the tide in his favor as well. But nonetheless, if I'm a betting man, I think I'm going to get Rozenstruik, and I think that probably early. Yeah. Guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this main event. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think Rozenstruik's going to get the victory, or is Shamil going to keep his undefeated streak going into the upper echelon of the heavyweight division? Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Help the channel grow. Mr. Mustache MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.